Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your man Big Soul here. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. Where the hell have I been? Well, there honestly really isn't a good explanation on why I haven't been putting out content other than this YouTube shit was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I gotta say, balancing YouTube and, my responsibilities at work as a father and just in my relationship and, school-wise in general, it's been tough. Like, it's a tough balance. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. And I apologize, definitely. I should not have just, stopped and then not given an update. But you know what? I'm always striving and, trying to do better. And I just have to do better in the future. I have to make time for what I love. I make time, you make time for things that are important to you. And YouTube and creating content is very important to me. So I just have to make time. Once again, I am on my iPhone. I feel like when I'm in the car, that's the only time I can get my points across without being interrupted. I don't have to worry about, the baby crying at home or, someone coming into the room while I'm recording. Eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I can record in my room and I won't have to worry about interruptions. But for right now, the car is the best place. So once again, I'm going to apologize about the background noise, the car noises and on the road and stuff like that. I mean, I don't do all of my recordings in the car. I just, a lot of it's just easier in the car. That's all. But let's get into the topic. Obviously, there's been some things going on with Blizzard. Blizzcon 2018 has not been kind to them. And honestly, they kind of deserved it. So for those of you who don't know, or maybe you just, don't pay attention to Blizzard, or you've just been living under a rock. At BlizzCon 2018, it was rumored that they were going to have a big announcement for Diablo because, Diablo hasn't had an update in about 6 years since Diablo 3 came out. I mean, granted, yes, we got the Reaper of Souls X-Pack, but it's still overall Diablo 3. So rumors were circulating, it was supposed to be, a big Diablo year because let's face it, Battle for Azeroth came out, so WoW wasn't really going to have a big year. Yeah, they do a Hearthstone X-Pack every year, so that wasn't nothing new anyway. StarCraft, I'm going to be real. I don't even know what goes on in the StarCraft panel, if they have a StarCraft panel, so I couldn't even say anything. And with HOTS, they do a update of what's next, new hero, stuff like that. HOTS had some pretty good stuff too. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But the main focus was supposed to be Diablo, and boy, was it a main focus. So instead of releasing Diablo 4, or not releasing, but giving information out on the next big Diablo game, Activision Blizzard thought it was a good idea to announce Diablo Immortal as the mainstay, the main takeaway for the Diablo series. And Diablo Immortal is a mobile-only Diablo experience. Okay, so here's the thing. My first reaction, I remember it vividly. I was at work during BlizzCon, and normally I don't work during BlizzCon. I'm home and I'm able to watch it through the virtual ticket. But this year I just said, what, it wasn't going to be a big year for a while anyway, so I didn't really care. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to just catch the highlights on MMO Champ like a lot of people do. Life don't stop. But I remember I had some downtime and I was like, oh yeah, BlizzCon's happening. Let's see what's going on. And I got my phone and I went on MMO Champ, and the first thing that I saw in big letters, Diablo Immortal next mobile game. And at first, I kid you not, at first I thought it was a joke, and I was like, oh, they're trolling. And then when I realized it was real, I was like, oh, that's trash, and I kept it moving. I didn't really give it too much thought because I'm not the biggest Diablo fan. I don't really care about the Diablo universe like that. I've dabbled in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls with friends, but I'm not a leaderboard chaser. That's not me. So I didn't really care too much. But when I got home and I was able to fully absorb all the information that was given, and I was able to see the streams and the reaction, oh, it was terrible. I don't remember what the gentleman's name was, so forgive me for not having that information out, but it was the Asian developer for Diablo. When they put, I felt like, honestly, the guy before him who said that he was his spirit animal, that was like basically sacrificing him. He was basically putting him in the lion's den with raw meat hanging from his neck. Like, pause. But it was like his demeanor said it all. Before he even said anything, it was like he knew what he was getting himself into, and he knew what was going to happen. And you know what? God bless, because he tried it anyway. He, tried to get the crowd hyped up. Diablo has been a franchise that, we always want to have friends come in, and he tried to give his whole little Blizzard spiel, and he tried to Metzen it. That's what it is. He tried to give his best Chris Metzen. It just didn't work. People was not having it. So when he said Diablo Immortal, the mobile game, it was silence. There was no reaction. And that was the first sign of, oh shit, I messed up. That was the first thing. And then he kept going. And like I said, God bless, he kept going. And just the reaction he was getting was just crazy. And then we jump ahead to the Q&A when I guess the guy, I don't know his name, but what they're dubbing him Red Shirt God 2.0, my man got up there and asked, is this an out of season April Fool's joke? And I saw some people saying that he shouldn't have asked that. That was so tasteless. And I'm thinking, nah, if I had to deal with the same game evidently for 6 years, I got the right to ask that. Are y'all serious about this? That's essentially what he was saying. Are y'all serious with this? And back to the developer, the Asian developer, he was like, he gave it his nervous chuckle, and he was like, no, it's not a April Fool's joke. It's a fully fleshed out Diablo experience on mobile, and people just wasn't having it. And then we cut ahead to Lord Fluffy. For those of you who don't know, Lord Fluffy is a big Diablo, I think maybe the biggest Diablo streamer. He's a big Diablo streamer. He asked if there was going to be a PC port, and they again denied fans, and they said no, it's only planned for mobile. And that's when they got the big boo. And then they responded with what, do you guys not have phones? It's like, no, dumbass, everybody has a phone, but we don't want to play a franchise game on the phone. We want to play on the PCs and the consoles that we got it for. Like, what? Like, that was honestly, that response told me a couple things. First and foremost, it told me that Blizzard is severely out of touch with their player base and their community. Because if you're in the Blizzard boardroom and the ideas of BlizzCon is coming up and you're circulating what you want to talk about, what you want to announce to the masses, a mobile game shouldn't have been the grandstand takeaway, honestly. Like, I don't understand that. But because I don't understand that, I'm also going to say that, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because maybe, hey, we don't know what happened in the meeting, the talks of why they announced it. Maybe they did have to announce it. Maybe Activision was applying pressure and they were like, y'all better announce this game. Because you know what? At some point or another, everybody got a boss. So maybe the higher ups was like, no, announce it. And I get that. So if you did have to announce it, why not do a little bit of fan service, announce Diablo Immortal, have a 10-second, maybe 15, maybe I might be even stretching it, but 10 to 15 second video, have the Diablo title, have 4 claw marks, and have one of the Diablo characters, Tyrael or Diablo, maybe say something real gothic-y, vengeance is coming, something crazy like that. Easy, right? That would have been the easiest way, and people would have latched onto that. And yeah, they still got to deal with the Diablo Immortal stuff, but I tell you right now, it would have been doing that, just acknowledging Diablo 4 would have nullified 65 to 75% of the negative feedback Diablo Immortal is getting. It wouldn't have done all of it, because you got to understand, you're still only getting a mobile game as a new update in 6 years. So it wouldn't have fixed everything. But that latching on to that 10 to 15 second video would have been enough for right now. And it would have took some of the pressure and the negativity off of Diablo Immortal, and Blizzard would have been able to live. Because right now, everybody's memeing Blizzard. I saw there was one of the pizza companies. It was either Papa John's or Domino's trolling Blizzard about their Diablo Immortal announcement. That's crazy. Maybe, you know what? And maybe they're just trying to stay relevant because they're like, hey, we pay attention to BlizzCon too. Whatever. But still, the negativity wouldn't have been so widespread and rampant. Because here's the thing. Diablo Immortal now doesn't have a chance. Because let's be real, Diablo Immortal could be a great Diablo addition to the Diablo franchise. It could be. It could be a great experience. But people are now going to look at it so negatively because this is what we got instead of a full game. So you know what? For Blizzard's sake, I hope it's great. It got to be above and beyond now. It has to be the greatest mobile game to release when it does release. So, and to me, those are expectations that you don't want to have, to be honest. So now I think, now you have two things. You have Blizzard is now in a space where they're viewed very negatively. You know, stocks have been dropping, and then now we got a whole bunch of ex-Blizzard employees coming out and talking about how, this is what we was talking about before. And you got a game that you got to still work on now, and it better be 200% great. So not even 100%, 200%. So they put themselves in a hole. And I can't for the life of me figure out why they did that. Like, honestly, these are the reasons that I could think of. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, all right, here's the thing. Reason number one Blizzard did this is, like I said before, maybe the higher-ups was like, y'all better, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're moving forward, and do it. Listen, like I said, at some point or another, everybody got a boss. So maybe it was Activision. That's reason number one. Reason number two, maybe they really thought this was a good idea. Maybe they really thought this was going to work and people were going to be excited, which is a poor excuse because that shows how out of touch you are with your community. If you really think something's going to work and it almost immediately and wholeheartedly backfires on you, that means you are completely out of touch. This isn't even a polarizing thing. This is has an 80% negativity rate, like 90%. So there's no, that's unheard of. So that means they are out of touch if they really thought it was going to work. And number three, maybe it's just let's just take it for what it is, a blatant cash grab. Mobile games are a blatant cash grab. They don't take as much money to make as a regular game, and you can fill it with microtransactions and people are going to buy it and continue to buy it and continue to buy it some more and continue to invest, and it's a blatant cash grab. But I think, and I could be wrong, but this is my opinion on it, I think the real reason of why Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal is two reasons. Actually, it's a combination of the three reasons that I said. I think they're out of touch. I think they really thought it was going to work, and I think it was a cash grab. It was an easy cash grab. But there's a secret fourth reason that I think trumps all of that, and that is that they were trying to flex their clout a little bit. They were trying to flex their clout, basically saying we can release anything and get positive feedback. Because let's be real, Blizzard has more wins than losses as of late. I think their last major loss was Warlords of Draenor. They had a big win with Legion. Legion was a great expansion. It was. Aside from the legendary nonsense and the artifact grind and artifact power grind, Legion was a great expansion. Warlords is perceived as the bad one. Kata has negative marks too, but Kata, I know people who love Kata. I know a lot of people who love Kata. I know, the general consensus is Kata just had mixed reviews. It sold well because came right after Wrath. Wrath was the magnum opus. Wrath was Wrath is when WoW had a 12 million subscriber count, active subscriber count. That's ridiculous. That's unheard of for a subscription-based game. So Wrath was the magnum opus. BC is loved for its nostalgia and introducing a whole lot of stuff, introducing flying mounts, introducing the arena system. So BC is always going to be beloved. So, and Battle for Azeroth, while it does have a lot of mixed reviews right now, it's still too early in its life cycle to severely judge it. So, hindsight is 2020. So we'll see. But moving on away from, World of Warcraft, people love Overwatch. I personally don't like it. I've played it a couple times. It's not really my cup of tea, but people love Overwatch. People love Hearthstone. Hearthstone's like the biggest card game right now, still. And it came out, 2015? So people love Hearthstone. Heroes of the Storm was always going to be in a weird space because League of Legends exists. Dota 2 exists. So Heroes of the Storm was always going to be a weird space, but back when MOBAs was popping, Blizzard had to throw their hat in. And for the most part, I think Heroes of the Storm is a great game, so I can't even be mad at it. So Blizzard has more wins than losses. So I think those wins kind of went to them, and it was like basically we could release anything and people are going to love it, and it wasn't the case. It just, like I said, never have I seen something get announced and get immediately and wholeheartedly flipped on them. So to end all of this, what do I think Blizzard can do to help rectify this problem? Even though it goes against what I believe a business should do. I mean, not really what I believe. I think it's really what businesses do in practice, unless it's a severe case, like doing an admission of guilt. Now, what I mean by that is just doing an interview, and not with nobody who doesn't matter. Don't do an interview with Forbes. Don't do an interview with freaking, I don't know, CNN or whatever. I know they're not going to do an interview with CNN. I'm just making shit up. But yeah, do an interview with somebody in this fandom, in the culture, in the gaming culture, in the gaming community. And don't put any restrictions on questions, and just be humble and, show some humility, show some humanity. Listen, we honestly, maybe we really did believe that Diablo Immortal, fans were going to be excited about Diablo Immortal. And you know what? When we got the backlash, we're still going to release it. Listen, we still believe in it. We're going to take, all of the feedback we get into consideration. And, we're going to try to do better in the future. Do that first. Next, just give some information on Diablo 4 already. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Just give some information on Diablo 4. It's not that hard. Like I said, a 10 to 15 second clip, or just confirm that they're working on it. Like, if you don't want to make the cinematic, confirm that you're working on it. And lastly, be more in tune with your player base. Like, I know that last one is a bit vague, but let me give a little bit of how that could work. So on the WoW forums, when something is wrong, I know there's a lot of noise to sort through, especially if, I don't know how many players are playing WoW currently, but let's just assume that there are 5 million active subscribers right now, right? Obviously, all of those 5 million they're not gonna have a presence on the forums. But have a team go through the forums, engage with the players, and report back to you, and see if there's any hot button topics you gotta figure out. And you know what? I gotta say, with WoW at least, Blizzard do get it right a couple times in here and again. Like, if something's outrageously wrong, they would definitely try to fix it. If they think it's, game breaking or hurting the gameplay aspect of things. So they will try to fix it. With Diablo, it's hard to be in a community with Diablo, because like I said, you've been with a game that's been out for so many years that I guess the people who are still playing it really are devoted. So just be more engaged with your community. Like, that's what you really have to do. I'm not saying you have to read every single forum post, but just engage. Just engage. And I know for a fact, even if Blizzard doesn't give you time to play, but I know for a fact those people at the Blizzard headquarters get at least an hour break to play. If I'm working at Blizzard and I can't do it at work, I'm doing it while I'm home. I'm trying to engage. I'm trying to see what's going on. And I don't have to tell people that I work for Blizzard. I'm just playing the play just to see what the problems is, see what people are thinking, see what where the tone is at, anything. But get back involved with your players, because a lot, one of the big things that a lot of people like to say about Blizzard in recent years, especially when Legion was out, is that Blizzard doesn't listen to its community. They don't care. They just release things, they do things, and we got to deal with it. I don't think that's true. I think that may be maybe 40% true. Maybe, yeah, 40% is a good number, 45 maybe. But it definitely showed at this year's BlizzCon. So, all in all, Blizzard's going to have to figure out how to fix this. And right now, what's hurting them is that they're not saying anything about it. And saying nothing, evidently, is saying a lot. Silence can be a big cosign. So I think Blizzard just needs to suck it up, accept that this year's BlizzCon was trash and it backfired on them, apologize to the player base, show some steps of moving forward, show some humility and humanity, and move on. And that's it. But I'm not going to drag this out any longer. I'm sorry. This is a long video to begin with, but I definitely owed you guys that. So once again, I apologize. I'm definitely going to do better in the future. Again, if you like the content, if you like the conversation, hey, like and subscribe. I'm always trying to spread the culture and spread the movement. Tell me what you think in the comments below about this year's BlizzCon. Do you think Blizzard's going to bounce back? Do you think they're going to say anything? Do you think they're just going to stay silent and just try to keep it moving? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Other than that, you guys have been awesome. I've been Big Soul, and I'm out. Peace.